Scotty doesn't know that Fiona and me do it in my van every Sunday.
Scott Derrickson is no longer the director of Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. This is not bad news. This means that the producer, Feige, couldn't come to an agreement with Scott Derrickson. When Scott Derrickson makes this Doctor Strange film, he's got Doctor Strange in mind. He's making a solo Doctor Strange film like he did the last time. If he got fired, that means that the studio wanted to include things to set the seed for things to come into fruition and sprout in other films. That wasn't a problem in that first movie. He had no characters besides a post-credit scene of Thor Ragnarok. That no other Marvel character was in his film. And Rachel McAdams. I hope she's in the next one too. So because he's been fired, I can only assume it's got to do with other characters being put in the film. We got to do this one thing because we're in New York City, so Spidey's gonna swing by. We got to do this one thing with and Scott Derrickson just can't do it. Did they fight? We don't know. I know what the official story is. He's still our executive producer. That means Jack. Stan Lee was the executive producer of some of these Marvel movies. Maybe even all of the Marvel movies. I remember seeing his name. He wasn't there on any other day but the cameo day. Hey, everybody. Excelsior. All right, see you guys next 3 months later for Doctor Strange. Like that was his commitment to these films, and he gets executive producer. That producer don't mean anything. Maybe it means, hey, look, you helped us get to this far. You have contributed some stuff that Scott Derrickson envisioned is going to be in this film, and then the new director is going to, maybe use Scott Derrickson stuff. You're going to be executive producer. Maybe if we ever need a phone call to say, why did you have this character wearing green? Oh yeah, that's right, because green, and it'll turn into yellow later on. That's what my plan was. So make sure you not change that because it'll be inconsistent. Oh, got you, Scott Derrickson. I had to go back to what you were doing. Bye. That's probably what they do. Marvel, Disney, they don't burn bridges that way. Remember what happened with D&D, the Game of Thrones writing team. So they left Game of Thrones to do Star Wars. They had more episodes on the plate of Game of Thrones. HBO was going to give them, hey, you can go to 10 episodes, because they only went to, 6 episodes. They only went that long. And they're like, yo, you guys got more episodes. You can flesh out the story, whatever you need. Need another season? Do a whole other season. Don't worry. They're based on the book, so we can always just stretch things out and include more characters and make them more. They said, nah. Went to Star Wars. And then Star Wars didn't pan out because, oh man, there was this opportunity with Netflix. We didn't want to say no to them. What? That's just you saving face. You don't want to make anyone look bad. That's how Disney operates. When's the last time they shit on somebody? Huh? Ed Norton wasn't a Disney decision. That was still a Feige decision. But they got rid of that guy. I guess he wasn't a team player. Same shit. He was on his solo. He was on his Hulk needs to be this. Allegedly, right? We don't really know. So, again, we don't really know what the break up was all about over here. I can only assume, and I'm probably right because I'm showmonger. No, I can only assume that it's got to do with, this is going to be a team-up movie, and we need to hit this beat and this beat for Wanda. We need to do this and this for everyone else who's going to be in the film. You don't want to do that? You just want to tell a story with a nightmare? Huh? You want to make it a horror movie? No, Scott Derrickson. When we said it was going to be a horror movie, we mean like a horror movie. You really think we meant horror movie, huh? Scott Derrickson, you are the weakest link. Bye-bye. And that's why he's out. I'm sure there was some sort of conflict, or they're peaceful, or it's really just creative differences, which creative differences could just mean creative differences. Whatever the reason is, it's good for us. I am done with solo films. I'm past that. It's not 2004 anymore. It's 2008 onward. I need to see people united, because that's what makes Marvel MCU that. That's what makes it not the Fantastic Four. They're a team, but team up is what I'm saying. They never teamed up with the X-Men, who were under the Fox banner. The people thought it wouldn't have worked out. Like movie studio heads thought, we can't mix these guys. It wouldn't make sense. No, I wanted that. And imagine if they would have done that early on, then it would have been like, hey, Marvel, because they're not Disney yet. Marvel, how about you give us Hulk? How about you give us anybody else? Then we get Captain America and Logan movie. If Fox had what they were thinking like that, we would have more contained universes. But I'm happy Feige was the guy to execute it. Took a little bit too long. There was no movie in 2009. But this is where we are in 2020, and the film will be in 2022. No, 2021 was when the film will be. So you know what? That's another good news. Scott Derrickson is out for 2 years before this movie comes out. We still have time before it's even filmed yet. They didn't wait like Kathleen Kennedy, who's another person they're just gonna let go and be like, contract was up. It was a great 6 years, but it's no, we're not picking you up. We're just keeping you because the damage was done. We're gonna continue and finish out this trilogy. That's the person that saved face. But she would fire directors in the middle of the filming. That's what happened with freaking Solo Star Wars story. Chris Lord and Phil Miller, those guys, and I swapped the names by accident, but those two were let go by her. And the day that they let go of Colin Trevorrow, the day that they let go of DB Wise and Dan Benioff, they were like tweeting something like, yeah, that's how it is. Yup, that's how it is. We know that's how Disney operates, man. So when I see that we're going to get these directors swapped out before movies in production yet, we foresee the accidents. That's just Feige being Feige. Feige knows, like, in him I trust. 23 movies, 23 hitters. I have to wait for him to do me wrong before I can start judging him. He knows movies more than I know movies. I know that. I'm not going to pretend to know more than this guy, and he's always done me right. Like, I watch these movies, I come out inspired, like, superheroes. So until he does a bad movie, and even if he does a bad movie, I'll blame the actor or something. I'm good with Kevin Feige firing Scott Derrickson, and maybe he gets the Russo brothers. Maybe they're like, yeah, Doctor Strange was kind of cool. Let's explore this time stone thing, huh? They shouldn't do the Doctor Strange movie because what the Ancient One said to Hulk, talking about these stones create the flow of time. You take one out, and then the dark elements will enter, and you see that dark line. And then Hulk goes, oh, well, I'm going to put it back at the moment they're taking. Okay, what she said would happen when the stones were taken out of their time didn't happen when Thanos used the stones to destroy the stones. It was 5 years without that. So the Russo brothers movies in the writers, Marcus and McFeely, in their version and in the Russo's version, every time they are asked about this question, they always fuck up the bag. They always say, yeah, you gotta look at what the Ancient One says. Ancient One was wrong because 5 years passed and none of the dark forces came out. And let me stop there. I don't want to be wrong in 10 years. It remains to be seen. I haven't seen the dark elements, that black thing. I haven't seen it yet. Obviously because the movie was focused on our main heroes. Maybe there's actually vampires. Maybe that's where Blade comes from. That's why I'm holding back. Maybe she was right. And because the time stones and all the stones were gone, a world of vampires is here. And what's the other one? Moon Knight and all that shit. Maybe that's... So yeah, let me retract my statements. I don't want to be wrong. Maybe Ancient One was right. It's just Blade out here killing everybody and protecting the world from these Nightwalkers. But Scott Derrickson getting fired is a good thing, is the point of this video. I'm out of here like Vladimir. Bye-bye.